Hope you're doing well. This week I have a new workout for y'all. All you need is a pair of dumbbells that challenges you for 10 to 15 reps of most upper body exercises, but I'm going to make the rep range large enough where it pushes you regardless, but I'm going to take you through what it looks like today. So it's only 2 sections, but you're going to do 4 to 5 rounds of the first section. We're going to treat it like regular weightlifting today. So what that means is we're going to do 3 moves in a row, but then you are going to do a regular rest of 60 to 90 seconds before you repeat the circuit of 3 exercises. We're going to do 4 to 5 rounds of that first section and then 4 to 5 rounds of the other section, but I'm going to show what each move looks like. So the first section is 3 exercises, but you're going to use the same pair of dumbbells for all 3 moves. And so I'm using 20s just to demo with this, but what we're doing is we're going to try and do a row to a kickback. And so what we do is we have a little bend in our knee. I want you to hinge your hip as low as you can, trying to avoid shoulders rolling down or lower back kipping upward. If we need to modify, we would do the single dumbbell version where you're propping up against the bench or you're holding onto something sturdy, and we would be at a half partial hinge versus all the way down parallel to the ground. But what the actual exercise is we have either the one dumbbell or both, but we're going to be hinged. We're going to hold this position and we're going to try and go squeeze our shoulders together, row, kick back, drive it back in, and down. Row, feel my shoulders come together, kick back, drive it back in, and down. We would do 10 to 15 reps there, and then go straight into 10 to 15 reps of a parallel squat. And so on here, all I'm trying to do is I'm driving on the outside of my toes, making sure my knees don't lock inward, and I want to make sure I'm sitting my hips straight back. And so a lot of times people will say about a quad versus a hamstring dominant squat. There isn't such thing. Really, a correct squat is using your hamstring and glutes, where you're sinking back using predominantly your glutes because that's the largest muscle group, putting as little pressure on the knee as possible. If we need to modify, we would have a bench and do a sit to stand motion, but we would do 10 to 15 reps here, trying to look out in front of us, sinking back as much as we can. And then from here we have one last exercise. So we go back to this position, either the modified where you're holding on to something or hinging, holding your body weight in its own position. And now we're just doing little pulses, 10 to 20 times. So I'm right here in the mid-range, working my tricep and the back of my shoulder again. If we need to modify, you would grab a lighter pair of dumbbells, but it's designed where we're letting our upper body recover in this squat, and then we have enough energy to finish and complete our pulses. All I'm trying to do here is making sure I'm squeezing right in between my shoulder blades 10 to 20 times. From here, I set my dumbbells down and I would rest 60 to 90 seconds before we repeat that. But we're going to do that pattern 4 to 5 times. For our other section, you only need 1 dumbbell. So once you've done 4 to 5 rounds, then you go to your next section, and it's only going to be 2 moves, and you're going to do 4 to 5 rounds. But we have a parallel squat to press. If you need to modify, you would do a sit to stand where you sit on a bench, or you sit down, stand, and press. We do 10 to 15 reps here, alternated for body weight exercise in plank. If you need to modify, you would get a bench to be in a elevated plank. Otherwise, I'm fully on the ground. So you would do 10 to 15 reps of your squat to press, and then you would come down, and all I'm doing with my foot is I'm trying to go up and over, knee tuck, up and over, knee tuck. So I'm trying to do a arching motion, tapping my toe on each side, and then doing a knee tuck forward. We would do 10 to 15 on one side, 10 to 15 on the other. If that is too much, the modification is to be on a higher bench, where I go up and over, knee tuck. So I'm doing an arch where I loop up and over, and knee. If it feels like too much pressure on my wrist, then I do a forearm plank. Still I'm driving my heels back, squeezing my glutes to keep my back straight, but I go up and over in a knee tuck. Whichever one you end up doing, we're still doing 10 to 15 reps, but you would do 10 to 15 on each side, rest 60 to 90 seconds, and then you would be back at your squat to press. But you would do 4 to 5 rounds of this section as well, and from there you would rest and cool down, and you completed the workout for this week. But if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.